Hey everyone, author Brendalyn here, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is author Brendalyn, and I am a French immersion elementary teacher and a Canadian author of children's books and an upcoming Christian fantasy novel. Today's video will be a continuation of a How to Self-Publish series, and more specifically a part 2 of that series. And as I mentioned before, I am dividing this into 3 parts, which will be a pre-publishing, present pub, and post pub. And today's video will be the part 2. So if you haven't seen part 1 already and you'd like to know exactly what you need to do before getting to this video, I have linked part 1 in the description below so that you know exactly what you need to do before getting to this point. In this video, I will be providing 10 steps that you need to presently be doing leading to the release date of your book. These steps are based on my own personal experience in publishing my first children's book. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the third part of this series as well as other videos that I will be posting. Step 1 is having your manuscript ready. A manuscript is the written work. In this case, it is for your story. If you haven't written your story out yet, now's the time to go and do it because you cannot continue with any of the other steps without having your manuscript ready. Make sure that your manuscript is typed either on a Google Doc or a Word so that it is properly saved and it can also be downloaded, especially when it comes to the editing process. And when you are doing your manuscript, make sure that you have the title of your story, you have your author name in it, and you know the word count of your manuscript, as the word count will be very helpful when it comes to the editing process, especially when the editor wants to know how many words you have for your children's book or your novel. And whenever you're doing a manuscript, either for a children's book or a novel, they have different types of word counts. So make sure that you know exactly how many words you need for your manuscript in the genre or in the type of book you are writing. Step 2 is finding an editor and or an illustrator. If you're neither an editor or an illustrator, this step would be very useful for you. If you are an editor, then you know that you can edit your own manuscript. Or if you know someone who has a major in the language you're writing in, they can help you out. If you are an illustrator, you've got this in the bag. Or if you know someone who has their own studio or who's an illustrator or an artist, they can help you out with the illustrations for your book. But if you are like me and you're not an editor and you're not an illustrator, then you are going to have to find a freelancer. And the 2 sites that I would recommend for finding freelancers are Fiverr and Upwork. You are going to have to create an account so that you can find these freelancers to help you with your book. Regardless if you're going to use one or the other or even both, I would label Fiverr and Upwork a different way so that you know exactly which platform to use to find your editors or your illustrators. I would label Fiverr as a searching platform and Upwork as a seeking platform. Finding a freelancer is very important so that you can get your book started and you can continue with the other steps that I will be talking about right now. Part 3, you are going to need 2 things, an ISBN and copyright. An ISBN is an international standard book number, and this is the little part at the bottom. So if I use this book, for instance, these numbers at the bottom identify this book as being yours. So you will need to have an ISBN for every book you publish. The great perk of being a Canadian author is that an ISBN is free, totally free. So you can get as many as you need according, I think they give 10 and then 100, but basically ISBNs are totally free. If you want to get an ISBN that is free and you go through KDP, that I will be talking about later, they also provide free ISBNs. The second thing I did mention is that you need to have copyright. So that means you want to make sure that the manuscript or the book that you are going to publish belongs to you. You want to make sure that nobody can copy your story, nobody can plagiarize it. So that means you have to make sure that your book is copyrighted and you have to register that. Those are 2 important things because they're more legally important and necessary for the following steps, especially when you're going to use KDP or Ingram Spark. They're going to ask what's your ISBN number if you have one, and do you have the rights to this book. So it's important to have these 2 steps, or at least start these 2 steps and make sure the process is going through, so that when you get the ISBN number and you have your copyrights page and your story's done, all these things have been set already for you. Step 4, you're going to have to create a business bank account. When you're going to create this account, make sure that you do research first so that you know that this bank is the best fit for your business. When you go to register or create your account, you're going to need for sure your ID, but you're also going to need your corporate name or your trade name that you went to register, as well as the documents that they provided. It's important for you to get this step done, especially if you'd like to sell things on your website later, and when you're going to use direct publishing like KDP or Ingram Spark, because they will be asking you for your bank inquiries. We all know that when we go to the bank, sometimes there is a process that needs to go through before things become active. So it's a great start to get your bank set up so that by the time they do ask for your information for your bank, you are set for things to move forward. 5 is promoting your book on social media and your website. As I mentioned before in the other part, that it's important to have a social media platform where you can share your author journey with your readers and followers. Just because your book isn't out yet doesn't mean you can't talk about it. It's the best time to promote your book and talk about your book by showing behind the scenes, introducing your characters, having a book reveal or a title reveal, and sharing with those who are following your page. It's also important to have a website, and you don't need to have a website, but if you would like to have a newsletter so that people can subscribe to your website and you can share exclusive things with your subscribers to your newsletter, a website would be a really great choice as well. If you're going to choose to do a website, you can do it either with Wix or you can do it with Daddy Go or Weebly, whatever you choose to use. Having a newsletter is a great way to also promote your book as you are keeping contact with those who have shared their emails with you and want to know more about you. So sharing some, bi-weekly or monthly newsletters and giving them exclusives before you share it on your social media is also a great way to promote your book. You need to do the steps prior and after to make sure that your promotion of your book is successful. Step 6 is direct publishing. Direct publishing means that you are using either KDP or Ingram Spark to publish your book. And the reason why it's called direct publishing is because when somebody makes an order on your book, the company will directly print out or publish this book and send it off to them. And so it's not just a reserve that's just there waiting for your book, but once there's an order, they print the book and they send it to the customer. If you're looking to just make paperback books, you can use KDP. KDP only does paperback books as well as ebooks. So if you're looking for a paperback book, and I get this, these are paperback, and you can decide to make it glossy, as this is glossy, or matted. If you would like to do hardcovers, Ingram Spark provides hardcovers as well as ebooks and paperback. So if you're looking for a hardcover, this is a hardcover, as well as this one, and they're both matted. Well, the title's glossy, but they're both matted. Then you're going to have to take your cover of your book as well as the interiors and put it into either KDP or Ingram Spark. What is important before you do all these illustrations is that you pick the dimensions for your book so that your illustrator does the right dimensions for your book for the spread so that when you put it on your direct publishing, you have a book that will fit. Step 7 is making sure that you have a proof copy. Yes, when you're using KDP or Ingram Spark, there is a digital proof that they provide for you. But I'm talking about a physical proof so that you make sure that all the pages and the spreads are well done and printed before your customers get their own copy. The worst thing to happen is to risk this step, and there's a malfunction in printing of your book, and you have an unhappy customer or reader that ends up with a book that isn't printed well. So it's important to get a proof so that you can physically see how the book is printed out before a customer gets their own copy of your book. Step 8 is author copies. These are copies that authors get at a specific price so that you can sell those copies on either your website or any other software that you would like. It is important to get author copies, especially when people want to get signed copies of your book and don't want to directly get the books off Amazon, for instance. I personally love signing books, and I really love receiving signed copies as well. So investing in some author copies would be a really good idea so that customers can order off your website instead of getting it off Amazon, and they get a signed copy from you too. While you're waiting for your book to be released, step 9 can be very helpful for you. In fact, it can be very crucial as well. It is important to have a Goodreads or an Amazon account so that people can leave reviews for your book. As authors, we want to know how people feel about our books, and so setting up a Goodreads would be a wise thing to do. The last step is step 10, making sure you have a book launch team. A book launch team are other people that will help or further promote your book. They will have early reads to your book so that they can leave a review on Amazon and Goodreads. They will have your book covers so that they can share it on their social media. And every time you post something, they can repost it too on their social media to further promote your book before the book gets released. When others are part of your book launch team, they will get also exclusives for being part of your book launch team and helping you with your book. If you want to find people to be part of your book launch team, this is where you would use your website or your social media to share and let people know, hey, leave a comment and if you'd like to be part, or send me a direct message or Google form on your newsletter for anyone who wants to be part of it so that they can be part of your book launch team. And then you would choose who can be part of it so that they can help promote your book before your book gets released. And that's it. Those are the 10 steps that you presently need to be doing leading towards your release date for your book. It's an exciting moment, and yes, there's a lot of things that you have to do, but it's going to be so worth it. And when your book is released, you're not done there. There are many other things that you need to be doing after that. And hopefully, really soon, I'll be releasing the final part and third part of this series so that you know exactly what you need to do when your book is released and afterwards. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell notification button so that you don't miss any new videos that will be coming up. If you think somebody will benefit from this video, please feel free to share this video with them so that I can help them out too. If you would like a detailed checklist of all the 10 steps that I provided today, you will have to subscribe to my newsletter and you will get access to the membership page so that you can download this resource for free. Before we head off, here is an amazing shout out to the author spotlights of March 2021. Author Spotlights has had its revamp, so if you would like to take part in this support program, feel free to sign up below. I hope that you are doing well. Keep writing. I'll see you real soon. God bless, and see you next time.